My name is Beatrice. I am 28 years old and I am an artist. I live alone in a small apartment in New York City. Some people say my apartment is too tiny, too old, too noisy. But to me, it always felt like a little home, my safe corner in a very big world. Every morning I paint. I paint before breakfast, I paint after lunch, and sometimes I paint until 2 or 3 in the morning. Painting is the only thing that makes me feel alive. When I paint, I forget hunger, stress, and time. But the truth is, painting does not always pay the bills. Some months I sell a big painting. Those days feel like magic. I walk to the store and buy fresh vegetables, real fruit, and meat instead of cheap crackers and noodles. I cook a warm meal and feel rich. I turn on the lights without worrying about electricity bills. Life feels easy. But then there are the dark months, the silent months, the months when nobody buys anything. Those months crush me. I count coins. I eat toast for dinner. I tell myself next month will be better. But sometimes next month is worse. My rent was always the biggest problem. My landlord, Billy, collected rent on the 1st of every month. Billy was not a bad man, but he was strict. He wanted his money on time, always. And then one day, everything fell apart. I missed 1 month of rent. Then I missed the 2nd. And then the 3rd. 3 full months. My bank account hit 0. I stopped answering the phone. I avoided the hallway windows. I lived like a ghost inside my own home. Every sound outside made my heart jump. One afternoon, when the sun was going down, there was a knock on my door. I froze. My heart beat so fast I thought I would faint. I knew who it was. I opened the door slowly, like a child afraid of the dark. It was Billy. He stood there with a tired expression, his shoulders heavy. "Beatrice," he said, "we need to talk. It's been 3 months. I can't wait anymore." I felt the shame fall over me like a cold blanket. I wanted to disappear. "Billy, I know," I whispered. "Please, just 1 more week. I have a buyer interested in a painting. 7 days, I can pay." Billy did not yell. He did not look angry. He looked disappointed, maybe even sad. He stepped inside without asking. He looked around my apartment, but it was not the apartment he was seeing. It was me. His eyes stayed on me, searching, thinking. "You always say next week," he said softly, "but next week never comes." I opened my mouth to apologize, but no words came out. I felt small, like a child caught in trouble. And maybe because I was lonely, and because Billy was handsome, and because his eyes felt warm and close, I didn't step away when he walked closer. His voice changed, his eyes moved to my lips. "Is there another way we can resolve this?" he asked. I knew what he meant before he even said it, and I didn't stop him. I should have, but I was lonely, and I wanted closeness. I wanted someone, anyone, to look at me like I mattered. We kissed. He held me like no one had held me in years, and we spent the night together. For a few hours, I forgot the world outside. I forgot the debt, the fear, the shame. I felt wanted. I felt warm. I felt protected. But morning always comes. When I woke up, Billy was already dressing. His face was hard. His eyes avoided mine. He did not say good morning. He did not smile. Something inside me slowly cracked. "Billy?" I asked. He only said, "I have to go," and left. Like the night never happened. Like I never happened. 2 days passed. I convinced myself everything was fine. Maybe he was just stressed. Maybe he needed time. Maybe the rent issue was finally gone. But life had other plans. That afternoon, I walked down the hallway and saw two neighbors, Mrs. Smith and Mr. Harper, talking quietly near the stairs. When they saw me, they stopped talking instantly. Their eyes locked on me like I was something dirty. I forced a small smile. They didn't smile back. As I walked past, I heard it. Mrs. Smith whispered, loudly enough for me to hear, "That's the girl. She pays her rent with her body. Disgusting." The world stopped. I felt the blood leave my face. My hands shook. I ran back to my apartment like the building was on fire. I locked the door and fell to the floor. How did they know? Did Billy tell them? Did he tell someone else? Did they guess? Every thought felt like knives in my stomach. The night that felt warm and safe now felt dirty and wrong. That evening, Billy came back. Part of me hoped he would hug me, hold me, tell me everything was okay, that the rumors weren't true. But he didn't even step close. "Beatrice," he said, "the neighbors are talking about us. They say I treat you differently because we slept together. It's hurting my reputation, my business." I felt something collapse inside me. He cared more about gossip than my feelings, more about his reputation than my heart. Then he said the words that finished me. "You need to move out." It felt like someone punched me in the chest. "Billy," I whispered, "I spent the night with you because I liked you, not because of the rent." He didn't reply. He didn't deny anything. He didn't say, "I care about you." He just stood there, silent. Something inside me stood up that day. My dignity. My voice. I wiped my tears and started packing. "I'm leaving," I told him. He did not stop me. Not a word, not a touch, not a sorry. I walked out with my suitcase and closed the door behind me. The hallway was silent. The whole building was silent. But inside me, something was finally alive. Freedom. It hurt, but it was freedom. 2 months passed. I found a cheap apartment across town. It was small and dark, but it was mine. And the rent was low, so I could breathe again. I painted more. I ate better. I slept without fear. I saved money, and one day I mailed Billy the full rent I owed him. Why? Because I wanted to close the door with dignity, not shame. Because what happened between us was not a transaction, and I wouldn't let anyone say it was. Then one evening, someone knocked on my door. I opened it. Billy stood there. He held the envelope of money in his hand. "Beatrice," he said quietly, "you didn't have to pay this. I told you to move out." "I wanted to pay it," I said, "for myself." Billy looked tired, the same way he looked the first time he stood at my door. But a different kind of tired, a guilty tired, a sorry tired. "I made a mistake," he said, "a big one. I cared too much about the neighbors and what they were saying. I shouldn't have treated you like that. I shouldn't have asked you to leave." He took a slow breath. "Can I take you to dinner tonight?" not as your landlord, as Billy, just Billy. For a moment, I looked at him, the man who once held me like I was something precious, and the man who later pushed me out to protect his reputation. I remembered the pain. I remembered the whisper in the hallway. I remembered the suitcase in my hand. And then I remembered something else, how strong I had become since leaving. Billy, I said softly, you asked me to leave because you were weak. You cared more about gossip than the truth. I don't want dinner with you. His face dropped. Get out, Billy, I said, and I closed the door. It clicked shut like a final chapter ending. I leaned against the door. I felt no sadness, no regret, no loneliness, just peace. For the first time in a long time, I was free from Billy, free from debt, free from shame, free from whispers. It wasn't the ending I expected. It was a better one, a stronger one. My story did not end with romance. It ended with dignity. And sometimes that is the happiest ending of all. If this story touched you, leave a comment. Please like, share, and subscribe for more simple English stories. Thank you for listening. Take care.